Some of these bands never cracked America. Some became global superstars. But inside Canada, they were giants. So who was the biggest Canadian alternative band of the 90s? Number 10, The Watchmen. The Watchmen quickly became a staple of the Canadian music scene, often mentioned alongside heavyweights like the Tragically Hip and REM. Their 1992 debut, McLaren Furnace Room, introduced audiences to their gritty, heartfelt style, but it was 1994's platinum-certified In the Trees that launched them into mainstream success with hits like Boneyard Tree, All Uncovered, and Lusitana. They kept the momentum going with Brand New Day in 1996, featuring singles Zoom and Incarnate, and then returned to major commercial success with 1998's Silent Radar, powered by standout tracks like Stereo and Any Day Now. In fact, Stereo became one of the top 25 most played songs by Canadian artists on rock radio between 1995 and 2016. Known for their electrifying live shows, the Watchmen toured extensively, sharing stages with the Tragically Hip and co-headlining with Big Wreck before disbanding in 2003, though they've reunited for select performances since 2010, keeping their legacy alive for a new generation of fans. Number 9, Moist. Formed in Vancouver in 1992 by Kingston, Ontario expats, Moist rose from near obscurity to the top of the Canadian charts in just a few short years. Their breakout album Silver in 1994 launched massive hits like Push, Silver, and Resurrection, while 1996's Creature and 1999's Mercedes 5 and Dime solidified their status with fan favorites including Tangerine and Leave It Alone. At their peak, Moist was one of the top 20 best-selling Canadian bands between 1996 and 2016, earning multiple Juno Award nominations and 2 wins, with albums reaching triple platinum and platinum status. After disbanding in 2001, they reunited in 2013 and proved their staying power with new releases like Glory Under Dangerous Skies in 2014 and End of the Ocean in 2022, reminding fans that their signature 90s intensity never really faded. Number 8, Sloan.
We can make it like we never met. Keep in mind that you'll never hear the end.
Sloan emerged as a defining force in Canada's 1990s alternative scene, helping put the East Coast on the map as the so-called Seattle of the North.
Flying high against all denial, and some people think we're crazy.
Built on a rare, fully democratic setup where all 4 members write and sing, the lineup of Chris Murphy, Patrick Pentland, Jay Ferguson, and Andrew Scott has remained unchanged since day one, giving the band a chemistry that's lasted decades. Their sound fused jangly 60s pop hooks, 70s classic rock swagger, and a touch of grunge-era edge, first heard on Smeared in 1992, then perfected on the now legendary Twice Removed in 1994. By the time One Chord to Another dropped in 1996, featuring staples like The Good in Everyone and Everything You've Done Wrong, Sloan had fully cemented their status, earning the 1997 Juno Award for Best Alternative Album and multiple gold records. They closed out the decade strong with Navy Blues in 1998, and ever since, Sloan has continued to record and tour, maintaining their reputation as one of Canada's most enduring and influential indie rock bands. Number 7, Matthew Good Band. Matthew Good Band built something that felt genuinely different. Their sound thrived on contrast, explosive, loud, quiet, loud dynamics, soaring guitar work, and lyrics that cut deep.
Everybody's alright. Everything is automatic.
By 1997, their album Underdogs had gone platinum in Canada. But it was 1999's Beautiful Midnight that truly announced them to the world, topping the charts and sweeping the 2000 Juno Awards, taking home both Best Group and Best Rock Album.
What is life if not a joke? One night she went out for smokes.
Songs like Hello Time Bomb, Load Me Up, Apparitions, and Everything is Automatic became anthems for a generation, the kind of tracks that still hit differently when they come on today. Over 7 years, they racked up 14 Juno nominations and left behind a catalog that still holds up. Their final album, The Audio of Being, arrived in 2001, and by 2002, the band had gone their separate ways. Number 6, The Tea Party.
And it feels now just like heaven's coming down.
The Tea Party carved out one of the most distinctive sounds of the 1990s alternative rock era, fusing bluesy hard rock, progressive elements, and Middle Eastern influences into what they famously dubbed Moroccan roll.
Isolation will cradle the lies of things left inside.
The power trio drew frequent comparisons to Led Zeppelin and The Doors, but their use of exotic instrumentation and hypnotic textures set them apart from anyone else on Canadian radio.
What's with its head, sister awake?
Breakout records like Splendor Solace in 1993 and the double platinum The Edges of Twilight in 1995 established them as a force, while 1999's Triptych delivered their first #1 radio hit, Heaven Coming Down.
Feels now just like heaven's coming down.
Alongside fan favorites like Fire in the Head and Sister Awake.
Sister awake. Sister awake.
Over the decade, they sold more than 1.6 million records in Canada, earned 13 Juno nominations, and achieved an impressive run of double platinum, platinum, and gold albums. The band initially disbanded in 2005 before reuniting in 2011, further cementing their legacy as one of the boldest and most sonically adventurous Canadian rock acts of the 90s. Number 5, I Mother Earth. Toronto's I Mother Earth were one of those bands that never quite fit the mold, and that was exactly the point. Formed in 1990, they mixed progressive rock, funk metal, and psychedelic vibes into something totally their own. Their 1993 debut, Dig, got them noticed, but 1996's Scenery and Fish was the one that blew up, going double platinum and giving us One More Astronaut, Rain Will Fall, and Summertime in the Void. At their peak, they were legitimately one of the best-selling Canadian artists around, and their live shows were legendary. They went quiet for a while, but in 2016, the original lineup, including vocalist Edwin, came back together. For fans of 90s Canadian rock, I Mother Earth are one of the era's best-kept secrets. Number 4, The Tragically Hip. If you grew up in Canada in the 90s, the Tragically Hip were basically the soundtrack to your life. The band created something uniquely Canadian, songs packed with references to Canadian history, places, and identity that just hit differently if you were from here. Out of Kingston, Ontario, Gord Downie, and the guys spent the 90s filling arenas and putting out albums that meant everything to Canadian fans.
Your house this morning, it was a little loud.
Road Apples, Fully Completely, Day for Night. 9 number one albums total, 6 million records sold at home, 16 Juno Awards. The numbers are staggering.
Step to the mic and sang, and their voices rang.
Songs like New Orleans is Sinking, Bob Cajun, and At the 100th Meridian became part of the Canadian identity.
Factory in the West.
And then in 2016, after Gord Downie announced he had terminal cancer, they played one last show. The whole country watched. It's hard to think of another moment in Canadian music history quite like it.
Constellations reveal themselves one star.
Number 3, Big Wreck.
I'll keep it quiet, you won't hear no more.
Big Wreck might be the most underrated band to come out of the 90s Canadian rock scene. Formed by Canadian students Ian Thornley and Brian Doherty while studying in Boston, they brought something a little different to the table. Bluesy, technically sharp guitar work wrapped around the kind of melodic hooks that stuck with you.
So I always fool these guys and we head downtown.
Their 1997 debut, In Loving Memory Of, delivered That Song and The Oath. And for a while, they were everywhere on Canadian rock radio. They split in 2002, but Thornley brought the band back in 2010, and they've been going strong since, putting out solid records like Albatross and Grace Street, and proving the sound still holds up. Tragically, guitarist Brian Doherty passed away in 2019, but Ian Thornley has kept Big Wreck alive, even releasing new music as recently as 2025. Number 2, Our Lady Piece. Our Lady Piece were everywhere in the late 90s, and for good reason. From Toronto, they had something most bands didn't, Rain Maida's voice. The moment it came through your speakers, you knew exactly who it was.
Keeps you awake. Hide the telephone, the telephone.
Their 1994 debut, Naveed, got them noticed. Starseed became an instant alternative radio staple and announced them as a serious band to watch. Then came 1997's Clumsy, which took everything up a level. It went diamond in Canada, produced Superman's Dead and 4 a.m., and turned Our Lady Piece into genuine rock stars at home.
The radio suitcase keeps you awake.
Their 1999 album Happiness Is Not a Fish That You Can Catch kept the momentum going, with One Man Army adding another anthem to an already stacked catalog. By this point, they were the third best-selling Canadian band in Canada. They won 4 Juno Awards and 10 Much Music Video Awards, more Much Music wins than any artist in the history of the show. That's how big they were. Number 1, Barenaked Ladies.
5 days since you left and then you say, get that together, come back and see me. 3 days since you living.
From Scarborough, Ontario, Ed Robertson and Stephen Page built a band around something you didn't hear much in 90s rock: humor. Their songs were witty, self-aware, and just plain fun, but catchy enough that you couldn't get them out of your head. Canadians loved them immediately. Their 1991 self-titled EP was the first independent release to go gold in Canada before they'd even put out a full album.
Right now I'm lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson did.
Gordon came out in 1992 and gave us If I Had $1 Million and Brian Wilson, 2 songs that basically became part of Canadian culture overnight. Then in 1998, Stunt took them to a whole new level. 1 week hit number 1 in the United States, which is something very few Canadian artists have ever done.
China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain stops sticking. Watching X-Files and no lights on. When you're done,
They walked away with 8 Juno Awards and a spot in the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. And they did it all without taking themselves too seriously. In a decade full of brooding rock bands, Barenaked Ladies showed that being funny and ridiculously catchy was a perfectly valid way to become legends.
if I get $1,000,000, I'd buy it.
There you have it, 10 bands that defined what Canadian alternative rock sounded like in the 90s. Some of them conquered America, some of them never needed to. But every single one of them left a mark that's still felt today. If your favorite made the list, let us know in the comments. And if you think we got the ranking wrong, well, that's what the comments are for too. Thanks for watching.